Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of General Geekery. With me, as always, is JD.
Hello.
Uh, Today, it's kind of an unboxing day. Both of us have some stuff to unbox. So, the thing that I was going to mention before we got into unboxing is, of course, the new GI Joe classified uh, announcements that came out yesterday, which I looked on Hasbro Pulse, and they're already sold out. And it looks like 3 Python Patrol offerings. You got a Python Copperhead, a Python Cobra Officer, and a Python Tele-Viper, and a Pythonized Tele-Viper or a Trubble Bubble.
Okay. The 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 bitching about repaints is pointless.
It is. I'm sorry.
But
We both know somebody that just went on a huge, shall we say, rant about that. Uh, and I agree, 100%. It's pointless. They've been
I
doing since the 80s, and the Python Patrol and Tiger Force.
they were entirely repaint sets. Their entire point to the existence of Slaughter's Marauders, Tiger Force, Night Force, Python Patrol, and even the Sonic, not the Supersonic Fighters, because there was a bunch of new stuff, but the Sonic Fighters, they were all repaints.
Yeah.
That was Hasbro's way of getting a bunch of toys that hadn't been in the stores for a couple of years back into the stores with some level of newness built in. But
And I know it's I didn't look at it, I didn't watch it, but I know one of the other rants was them being exclusives. And Night Force. Night Force is a prime example of that. That was exclusive to Toys R Us. I didn't even know it was a thing
Night
until I
Force
was
has always been exclusive.
yeah. I
Like,
didn't know that was a thing until the internet.
I had the initial Night Force figures when I was a kid, because when Toys R Us here in the Falls, no, when Child World became Toys R Us,
Mhm.
they got the Night Force stuff.
Gotcha.
So the initial figures I had, and I had two of the vehicles. I had the I had the Nightshade, which was a repaint of the shark. I don't need to go into that rant again. Um,
My hero.
and I had I don't know what it was called. It was the Cobra Maggot tank.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't remember.
I
I don't. I'm not up on my Night Force. I didn't
No,
even
neither am
remember
I.
that they repainted that.
Yeah, they did. But
I,
I don't remember being a big fan of it. Because I had the original Maggot tank, and I had trouble holding on to the pieces of it. Like, it was intricate. It was an intricate build, and
it is.
there were a lot of pieces that went on. Therefore, there were a lot of pieces that came off. And once they came off,
Didn't go back on.
not very often. Um,
Yeah.
so, but I also remember thinking I never had a problem with Joe vehicles being repainted in Cobra color schemes because I always liked the idea that Cobra or the Dreadnought stole these
Both of them.
things
Yeah, absolutely.
and they're using Joe tech.
Hmm.
I always thought it was a little weird when it went the other way.
Yeah, see, I can kind of see that though because of, the comics when they did like the invasion in a Cobra Island and the one time they stole a Mamba and dropped a like recon platoon in the comic books.
Oh yeah, when they dropped Gung Ho and Tunnel Rat and
Peak Peak and there's because they had like
yeah,
three flight pod.
I mean that kind of makes sense, but to repaint them as part of the Force, eh. But at the same time, I don't think I don't think at the time there was that much logic put into it. I really
No,
think they
no.
well, I mean, in the case of Night Force, what happened was Tiger Force wanted a set of repaints that were all theirs, and they wanted the figures to be recent releases that got repaints, and um, so I think they just used the same logic with the vehicles because they were all either recent releases or they were recent mailaways, like the shark. Um,
Right.
but uh, I mean, really, if you look at all of the sub teams, there was very little rhyme or reason to which vehicles got repainted. I mean, the Python Patrol had the Conquest and
Mhm.
the Asp and the Stun. They did not have a Hiss tank. They did not have a Stinger. They did not have a Trouble Bubble. Um, the Sky Patrol had the Sky Havoc, the Sky Raven, which there's a prime example of the Night Raven is iconic Cobra. It was goofy to have it in a Joe subset. Look, I love the Havoc, but it didn't make a damn bit of sense as part of Sky Patrol. And that was yet another excuse to use the Shark. And if Chrome can't save your vehicle, it's not a cool vehicle.
It is a cool.
Um, but I don't bitching about Night Force being exclusive. Yeah, it always was. The only difference is it was exclusive to Toys R Us in the 80s. And in the United States, Toys R Us no longer exists. And I am not talking about those weird pop up kiosks in Macy's.
Yeah.
That is not the same thing. That is definitely a we are using the name Toys R Us. They are not using toy. They there's no resemblance to Toys R Us at all.
No, the
Um,
Toys R Us in my town is now a storage facility. A
yeah,
storage.
there's the storage. The Toys R Us here in the Falls was a grocery store for a few years, and now I think it's the mall that it was in. I think they're revamping the whole thing into a medical campus.
Ooh.
Um, so or as part of a medical campus. So they're not Walmart has a lot of buying power people. I mean, they do. I don't know. I mean, do they mismanage it? They're exclusive. Well, yeah, but that is not Hasbro's problem. That is Walmart's problem. But the fact is, big retailers want these exclusives, so why not? Python Patrol and Tiger Force make perfect sense because they don't have to put them out in the main line.
Right.
If the retailers want an exclusive, well, why not make it repaints? I get people with the Night Force because they're not all repaints. I mean, Shooter, Shadow Tracker, Wolf Spider, Big Ben, Range Viper, those are all prime candidates for the main release. So I understand the discontent with that one. But I don't, but every retailer doesn't need to carry Tiger Force and Python Patrol. I mean, I understand the aspect. I think it was Chad that pointed out the logic of people are only just getting their trouble bubbles. So it is kind of annoying to have a
Another
repainted
one.
trouble bubble with a Tele-Viper already announced. I get that, but the fact is, the announcements have to happen sometimes. And again, bitching about it isn't going to do anything. And again, bitching about it clearly isn't an indication of what the 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 general buying public wants because they're sold out. So,
That's exactly what I was going to say. It is sold out already.
and whether they're sold out by people that are just going to resell them or flip them, or whether they're being sold out by collectors who want to army build these things, that doesn't matter. That is complete. I hate when that argument gets brought up. Oh, they're just going to be resold. That doesn't matter. The fact is, they are selling out. The fact is, they are moving inventory, and whatever the intention of the people ordering them is, they're still buying them. So you can bitch about them all you want, but unless they completely don't sell, there there's clearly an audience for it, and there's no denying that.
Yeah.
And
I
the
as much as I hate to admit it, as much as I do not like the repaint sub teams, there I like that Trubble Bubble, and I pre-ordered it
I
to
mean,
Target. I don't know at this point in time. At the last when I pre-ordered mine yesterday afternoon, Target still had all that stuff in stock, so I don't know if it still is, but I know I looked at Hasbro Pulse today just out of curiosity because there's a Marvel Legends figure that I know is going to be announced, and I might be a Pulse exclusive, and I'm looking to get that. So I was looking to see if it got put up yesterday.
what figure?
Detroit Steel. It's
Uh, um,
I'm kind of disappointed in the.
Monger, right? In the
It's just an Ironmonger repaint with a couple of greebles glued to it. I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that they couldn't do a new sculpt for that particular figure, but I like the character in the comic books.
well, the fact is, the repaints keep costs down. It keeps the molds being used because the fact is, tooling of these molds of these sculpts is expensive,
Yeah,
and
and that's the only reason that I'm gonna be able to buy it and not feel bad about it is because it is a repaint. So the cost is not going to be as much as it would be if it probably would be double if I was going to be um if it was a new mold. And
yeah,
I
because the fact is, the prices are high on the toys in general, but the repaints they would be more expensive if they weren't repaint. Now, I did see somebody saying, well, for that cost, why the hell couldn't they throw in a head sculpt for Justin Hammer?
yeah,
I get that, but honestly, the Marvel Legends line has so many heads that you could just pretend is Justin Hammer. That is what imagination is for.
and
Um,
quite honestly, I mean, I don't 99% of the stuff that I buy is going on display. So extra hands and extra heads, well, it's cool and I do dig it, man, they're just going to be in a baggie somewhere.
I don't
So
have
I'm
much
not.
of anything on display, but the fact is, I can't stand the extra heads. There, no, the extra hands with the different positions. I get it; those are great for people that do dioramas and photography, and if you play with your stuff and you want to make a situation, I understand. But for me, I don't need all that shit. I need one set of hands that's functional, but that's just me.
Yeah,
And the fact is, I like all the extra head sculpts because eventually there may or may not be customs that they get used for.
sure.
But the fact is, it's also possible that the Detroit Steel figure, as much as it costs, it could have been $5 more if they did tool up a new head for it.
And I don't know
So,
what the cost is supposed to be. I think it's
um, I mean,
70.
I don't know either, but I just there's just certain things that complaining why Hasbro didn't do it. If you really want it that way, just make it or add it or take it from something else and throw it in there. Just they're not going anywhere. Every toy line has repaints. Every toy line has repaints, and that's because it does it. Again, these sculpts, they're paying people to make these things, and they cost a shitload of money to reproduce them. So they might as well use them more than once to get mileage out of it.
And
I mean, we have a ram
honestly,
and we
just
have a tiger ram. It's only a matter of time before there's a third use of the ram cycle. And I'm kind of shocked that it hasn't happened yet. What they'll use it for, I don't know, but they'll come up with something.
it just
Um,
the thought that I had on top of that was just be thankful that you're getting repaints because the next three Iron Man figures that are coming out aren't even repaints, they're repackages.
see, that's another good point. What if the exclusives were just repacks? Well, there would be people that would be happy because that means they wouldn't have to track them down. But if you're a completist, or an in-package collector, what if they have numbers on the boxes?
Yeah. And I
Um,
I am an Iron Man completist, and it's like, man, I don't want to fucking buy these 3 figures again. I don't. The My money is better spent elsewhere.
well, if they are figures you've already got, why buy them? Like, why? I
Yeah,
mean, completist or not, if there's nothing different, why buy them again?
I'm honestly on the fence for the first time about not buying Iron Man figures
I
because
mean, so what kind of repacks are they? Are they like,
there's a War Machine version 3, an Iron Man Mark II, and I want to say I don't remember what version of the uh Iron Man armor. I want to say it's like in one of the ones from Infinity Wars.
oh, so these are MCU figures, not comic figures?
That
Um,
it's repacked from the movie line.
okay. So, well, I'm going to guess the 3-pack was probably limited, and that's why they're doing this to put them
No, they're
back out there.
individual packed.
Huh?
They're individually packed.
No, that's what I mean. If, oh no, I thought you said that they were from a 3-pack.
No.
Oh, okay. So, um, oh, this is that wave of MCU figures, like, because yeah, all
It's
the
an
bitching about another
anniversary wave or
Cap
something
and
like
another
that.
Black Widow, and well,
Yes.
they're mainstays of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're the iconic
Yes.
characters. Of
Yeah,
course, they're going to put them back out.
there's a Bruce Banner and a Black Widow also in that wave. I think those are the only 5 figures. There might be another one. There is another one. I don't remember what it is, and I don't remember what it is.
Um, I don't know either, but I mean, I don't remember either, but I'm willing to bet it's probably Hawkeye.
Uh,
Um, but
I don't remember.
oh yeah, that Bruce Banner figure, that's a nice figure.
It
Um,
is, but it's I think that only came out in a 2-pack. I don't know. I'm not up on my Marvel Legends. I don't. The only ones I get are the Iron Man figures. So, but I know that
um,
figure is already out. I know that Black Widow figure is already out too.
um, yeah, you end up buying 2-packs with. Didn't you get the 2-pack with Happy Hogan and the Midas armor because you needed the Midas armor?
No, I bought that off of eBay. I bought it loose off of eBay.
Oh, that's right. You didn't want Happy Hogan, but everybody was selling off their surplus Iron Mans from that because they bought it for Happy
Yeah,
Hogan.
everybody
Okay.
wanted Happy Hogan. I'm like, I can live without Happy Hogan. I mean, sure, it's an ancillary Iron Man character, but I didn't need it.
I was
So
going to say, you don't buy ancillary Iron Man characters. If you did, you'd already have another display shelf. Um, because Iron Man's a big deal, and he's got a lot of ancillary characters. Me, I just buy most of the War Machines, but um, mm, I am actually glad there are far fewer War Machines than there are Iron Men, so I don't have to worry about buying them. But
you ever get that Punisher War Machine?
uh, no, because every time it comes up on the show, my goldfish memory fails me after we stop recording, and it one ear and out the other, basically. So,
Yeah, the only reason I asked is I was thinking about that as I was working on my 4-inch custom last night. That I've had that on my work in progress shelf for probably a year and a half. I'm clearing out all my work in progresses.
eh, the one work in progress that I'm curious if you're gonna salvage it or scrap it is gonna be Star Brigade Major Blood. Can't wait to see if you're gonna finish that one or not.
I threw it in a drawer, so I didn't even have to look at it. It's not even on the shelf, man. It's not.
Oh god, over 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 text message or over Zoom or something. When Brian was working on that, uh, we were we were online for a couple hours while he was brainstorming it and figuring out parts, and I was keeping him company while he went through his parts. And at the time, the person I was dating was even was even on Messenger. Like, I was communicating with her, and Brian just could not. He could not get this custom to come together at all. And then finally, he put it on the shelf and said, "I'll go back to it." And he didn't go back to it. So I will, since he's on a mission to complete his works in progress. I was thinking about Major Bly. I'm like, I wonder if that's gonna that it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should finish that. But that's my own morbid curiosity to see what the final product would look like. Um,
Even if I got past the parts, I still don't know what I want to do for a color scheme. So, because I'm fucking lost on the color. Some I just like, and the joints on that figure are horrible because it's a beater. So it's like, fuck, I don't know. The only ones
I
left right now are the figure that I bought while Emily was gone to make a snake armor, an updated snake armor.
oh yeah.
But the airbrushing the white didn't really work, so I need to get a rattle can. And I already went and got paint yesterday, so I was gonna do that today, but I'll probably do it tomorrow. And then the rhinoceros that I put a rhino head on the halo body. I had done a Google search on like anthropomorphic rhinos and armor to see what I could come up with, and I found a real cool color scheme of red and gold. And I started working on this, and I'm like, "Fuck, this is gonna look like an Iron Man armor. I don't want it to look like an Iron Man armor. I don't want it to look like an Iron. It didn't even fucking occur to me that these are straight Iron Man colors. And it's like, this is gonna look like a rhino shoved in an Iron Man suit, and that's not what I want. So that's going right back on the work in progress shelf. The other two that I have is the mainframe that I'm doing for my Flaming Moth box set, and then the Harrison Ford from Blade Runner. I'm still on the fence about that one. That just may get finished up just to get finished up. That's it. That's my work in progress. Everything else is pretty much done. I'm waiting on some parts to finish my Ghostbusters stuff, but the figures are done. And then yeah, those are all my work in progress is done.
So
Mostly.
so you've only got a few left, but you've knocked most of them out.
Yeah, I if you look on my Facebook page, like the last probably 5 or 6 customs I put up are ones that have been languishing on my work in progress shelf.
Well, and all you can do is hope that those critical pieces you're waiting on from the Ghostbusters, hey, all you can do is hope that they show up. I
Theoretically,
will say nothing more than that.
Yeah.
But this has been an ongoing source of frustration for Brian for the last month.
Yeah.
Waiting on people to ship things that they made and were paid for can be maddening. But in this case, when unnamed person is the only person that makes these parts, yeah, it's gotta be really annoying.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah. So yeah, to our unboxings then, as we mentioned, I'm getting quite the pile of classified figures here because I'm running out on my next to my customizing area because I have them on the show and then I don't have a shelf for them. So they're all just like kludging here. I've got 2 Cobra Eels, an Tele-Viper torpedo, scrap iron, and an Arctic bat. And I'm going to add to that today I've already unboxed this because I had opened it before JD had texted me and say, hey, let's do a unboxing podcast. And that is Snow Job. So this came today. My dog Izzy scared the shit out of the delivery guy because we had this front door open but the storm door closed, and she will jump at the glass when there is somebody on the front porch like a fucking psychopath. So he just like set the shit down, took a picture, and split. I'm like, thanks,
Um,
man. He's like, see ya, dude. Have a good day. Later.
yeah, he probably had to sit in the truck for a minute and just breathe.
Probably.
Um,
He didn't throw the stuff down, but he's like set it down nicely, took a picture, and he was gone.
Izzy is not a huge dog, but she's not a small dog, and when she gets going, especially if not expecting it, it's
He sounds
there's a little there's a little bit from the outside looking in, it could look like a Cujo situation.
she sounds mean. She does. So snow job. First thing I always review is the packaging. Packaging's awesome on these deluxe figures. I'm usually not a big fan of the windowless packaging, but on the deluxe figures, I think it kind of works because there's more room for the art. So we've got drawn artwork on about a little less than quarter of the box, and then a nice picture of the figure on the right. Same artwork on the side. I never check the QR codes to see if they actually do anything. On the other side, picture of his equipment on the top. Bottom's blank, top's
My
logo.
Joes are never in the package long enough for me to look at the QR code.
And then there's the back showing all the
It
gear that comes with them.
really
And
does come with a shitload of gear.
it does. It's one of their like deluxe figures. I think the next deluxe figure that's supposed to come out's Tripwire. So, which I think is kind of, to me, it's kind of odd because Torpedo was my first figure, first Joe, got him. Torpedo or Tripwire was my second figure. That's the next deluxe figure. Snow Job was my third Joe ever deluxe figure. I'm seeing a pattern emerging here. So Snow Job comes with the figure itself, an interchangeable head. So we've got a head that has like the hood and one that does not. A detachable hood, a detachable scarf, goggles, a sniper rifle with a removable clip, a pistol that looks basically like a Desert Eagle, a backpack, 2 snowshoes, 2 skis, and 2 ski poles. He does have a holster for the pistol. The sniper rifle fits in a rifle sheath in the backpack. The skis and the poles both store on the backpack, and I think the snowshoes will peg into the backpack as well.
Sweet.
Yeah. So to me, this is the in case anybody's wondering, the plastic on the weapons is slightly more rigid than the ones that have been like on the eels and torpedoes. So it's soft enough that you're not going to break it in 40 years, but it's strong enough that it's not going to be malformed when you get it out of the box.
Good, because
I don't know why they
the
nailed this down. This is how this is what it needs to be. Plus, the rifle came in its own separate packaging, holding it in place, preventing it from bending. So kudos on Hasbro for like, hey, we need to fix this. Hopefully that's how it goes forward from here, but I don't know. The backpack on mine fits really well into the figure. I know there's some of the backpacks do not fit well into the figure. I have the like balaclava head with the goggles on mine in the hood pulled back piece. I've got there's the hood, obviously, and then the head, just the plain head. The sculpt is pretty much reminiscent of version 1 with the brown accents for the like web gear, and then snowshoes, and then everything fits into the backpack. And that's one of my, we've talked about this numerous times on the show, is the that I love figures that come with a ton of shit, but I want them to be able to hold all of their equipment, and this one does. So I I have said I'm not the biggest proponent of the 6-inch GI Joe stuff, but this is a pretty awesome figure. I can't find anything wrong with this, quite honestly. This
Yeah, I
is
need that figure. I had to cancel the pre-order, but at some point I'm going to go back and pick it up because that, you know, as nifty as the 25th snow job was, I don't really think the sculpt held up all that well. Um, um, Especially the arms were kind of weird, the hands were weird, but he was a really neat idea. And as a display piece, he looked really good. But um, then the Pursuit of Cobra version came around, but
just
the
blew it
gear
out of
was
the water.
cool, but I didn't like the look of it. It was too bulky. I understand what they did with the snowsuit, but I
I like
don't think it looked enough like Snow Job.
I liked it. I thought it was a fantastic update. I love that figure.
But this looks like it's loaded down with gear like the Pursuit of Cobra version, but it's not exactly version one, but
It's very reminiscent.
it's it is, and it looks like the Snow Job figure that he always deserved and he's never had before.
Agreed. Yeah, totally. I love the interchangeable heads as much as I just kind of went on a rant about that. Um, because I just,
Well,
yeah, I think it's a neat feature. I mean, I won't use it, and the pieces will go in a baggie with all the other interchangeable stuff, but I like the fact that it's there.
it it really makes me wish, even if they had to bump up the price just a bit, I wish they had done that with Torpedo because it really just bugs me that he's forever got the hood around the. I I wish they'd thrown in an extra head and maybe a few extra accessories and bump the price up. I mean, I think they'll go back and do Torpedo again.
Yeah.
I wish they'd done it this time because that snow job, the completely uncovered head, and that is really cool. And I wish they'd done that with Torpedo.
Yeah, I wish they had too, and then done like the Drager non-rebreather vests that the seals actually use. I think would have been a perfect piece for this figure, for the torpedo figure. So to
Um,
have like the V1 gear is cool, but to have like actually the actual piece that's real piece, I think would have been cool. Because I mean you can get them from BBI, and I use them in all my seal customs, all my like water seal customs, and I really wish they had made one for this. Gridiron has something similar, but I'm not. It's not. I don't. I'm not 100% on it, so I'm probably not going to pick it up. But yeah, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the snow job. So the second thing I always review on a figure is the playability, and just with the amount of gear, the interchangeable heads, there's playability all day long on this. All of the gear is pretty sturdy. None of it's going to break because it is using that softer plastic. I know people are going to complain about that it feels cheaper, but man, 30 years from now, you're not going to be breaking this stuff. You
I
know,
was gonna say, how many vintage figures have brittle equipment or parts? In fact, not even just vintage. How many of the how much of the real American Hero stuff from the early 2000s is falling apart now because they used
hard.
bad plastic? Um,
I don't know that it was necessarily bad plastic. It was hard plastic, and hard plastic gets brittle over time. The
um,
softer plastic is not going to get brittle.
what's the articulation like on Snow Job?
Uh, Pretty decent. He's got a upper bicep swivel. Uh, the snowshoes don't stay on particularly well.
Well, like, does if he
So
two hands the
upper bicep swivel, uh, double jointed elbow, wrist articulation. Is that a mid? No, I think that's just, or is it? No, it's just where the mold comes together. Does he have a mid torso articulation? He does, but it's hidden pretty well by the vest. He's got the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, uh, and then the usual super articulated ankles.
If he tries to hold the rifle with two hands, can he successfully do it pretty well without it popping out on one side or the other?
Mm,
Just curious.
I'm gonna take his backpack off, or it's just gonna fall off. Because one of the things I was curious to see was how decent this rifle was, to see if I need to get him a new rifle from Gridiron. But I'm just gonna keep him with the one that he's got. Yeah, he holds it pretty well.
All right, sweet. Just curious. Because, some figures don't need to hold their rifles with two hands, but some guys might need to. And Snow Job comes with a rifle that might need to hold with two hands if he's got a stand and fire it.
Yeah, this is definitely not a fire from the hip type of rifle. This is definitely a sniper rifle. This is not an assault type rifle. This is
So it's not one that he'd stand up and use in a firefight, anyways.
no. But yeah, so the playability on this is fantastic. The other thing I always review is the customizability. I don't know that I would do a lot to this figure, quite honestly. The only thing that I could think possibly to do would be to give the figure a like a plate carrier. So I don't know if anybody's doing like third-party stuff to make it more realistic military, and to do like a Arctic camo scheme on it. Other than that, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Maybe some washes on it. For those people that are, here's your tip and trick for my 2-minute tutorials that I usually do on the YouTube channel for doing washes on white. Citadel Color Contrast Apothecary White. Use this, thin it out just a little bit, and use it like a wash. This stuff looks fantastic on white. So that's a painting trick for you there. And then like some washes on the backpack would not go amiss in the fur. So aside from that, and I think that stuff would make it look even more fantastic, but it doesn't need it either. It really does stand alone on its own.
So straight out of the box, he's excellent. A few extra paint apps would just,
Make it more realistic.
yeah. But
Yeah. But if you're going for that vintage toy look, it doesn't need anything. This is a phenomenal figure. And there he is with the Arctic bat, which I think the plastic on the gun. I tried to fix the plastic on the gun by heating it up, straightening it out, cooling it off. It didn't work. It's the first time I've not had that work.
so
So
the soft plastic they used is,
really soft.
I was gonna say, it's too malleable to even reposition it, and it doesn't stay.
Yeah. Um, for if you're not a big collector on this stuff, but on the 6-inch stuff, but remember, like the Lanyard Corps line, how malleable those weapons are. That's the same type of plastic that they're using in some of these. Especially like the eels. Those spear guns are ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, for fuck's sake, dude. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's the
both
better
my
too as well.
both my snow job and both my torpedo and my eel both have.
I think my torpedo was fine, but the both eels, the spear guns, yeah, that was the good one. Here's the bad one. Look at that.
Yeah, that is basically what my eel and my torpedo, that both of their spear guns were basically like that. I softened the plastic,
That
put a
spear gun for my torpedo is fine.
yeah, mine was warped just like that. Well, yeah, it was annoying. Um, I did order a new rifle for torpedo from Gridiron, so his stupid spear gun can go back in the drawer where it belongs.
Yeah, I haven't sat down to do it, but I'm gonna get weapons for both of my eels and torpedo. I just haven't sat down to do it yet. I know what I want. I just order. So overall, yeah, I have no complaints about this figure. Nothing at all. The plastic is fantastic. This but soft enough that it's not going to break in 30 years. It holds all of its gear and then some, because you can either hold this rifle, in his hands, or it stores in the backpack. So, you could put the rifle in his backpack and put his ski poles on and then his skis on, and then he can ski. I mean, the playability for this thing is in and of itself is fantastic. The interchangeable heads, the interchangeable hoods, the removable goggles. There's nothing to hate about this figure at all. The
Wait,
the My biggest complaint on this on 6-inch figures is the mid torso articulation, and it's well hidden by the coat. I got no complaints about this figure at all. So that is the one thing that I was going to unbox. The surprise unboxing before we get into the big box is I was going to mention the Dennis Nedry figure from the Hammond collection for Jurassic Park. And why, you may ask? Because it is so packaging. I love the Hammond collection packaging. I mean, it's window box. They do a great job with it. These things look great. If you're an inbox collector, I mean, it's raised, like embossed on the thing, on the packaging. I mean, these things look fantastic just in the box. Playability. This thing comes with quite a bit of stuff, actually. This is the first one that I've got in the box. I've been buying them loose, so we can get rid of the box just after I said how awesome it is.
well, it's awesome, but
It comes with a stick. I don't know why you need a stick, but
because he threw a stick for the Dilophosaur to fetch in the movie.
that's right.
He's like, fetch, stupid.
It comes
Dennis
with
Nedry
a.
was not well educated about dinosaurs.
I think this is probably one of the coolest accessories ever. It comes with the can of Barbasol shaving cream.
Nice.
The 1/18 scale can of Barbasol. I love that. It comes with interchangeable hands. One to hold the can of Barbasol, and I'm guessing one to, like, it looks like he's waving. So those will go in the bin. Then it's got an interchangeable head, so it's got the head with the like the spittle on it from the dinosaur that spat in his face. So I think that's kind of cool. And then the figure itself, I thought the glass is removable, but they're on there pretty good. Figure itself is not bad. It's pretty reminiscent of the character from the movie. The articulation's not too bad. The proportions seem a little off, but he was actually a fairly short guy. So I mean, it's not a bad figure. So playability is pretty good. It's going to interact with all your 3 3/4 inch figures really well. And of course, the third thing I always review is the customizability, and that's why I got these figures. The one thing I don't like is the coat isn't removable. It's tabbed. You can take it off, but it's tabbed into the back with a huge tab. So you really got to get in there. You got to heat it up, and you got to get in there with an X-Acto knife to take it apart. But
So
once
if
you
you take the coat off, it's got a huge extra chunk of plastic that you gotta shave down or Dremel off
yeah,
to
so, but
use that.
you can reuse it, and I have. I don't know if you can see it. So there's the tab on the coat.
Oh, that's not as bad as I was at. That's not as bad as I was picturing.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I remember either, but um, the likeness on the head's pretty good. But if you take the time, you can once you get the coat off, you can separate the waist and you can separate the torso into halves, and you can add. Takes a little bit of work, and I'm going to say it's a moderate skill level custom, but you can put Marauder arms and Marauder legs onto this buck.
To make Bobby from Sands of Anarchy.
Yep. I'm also going to use it for Piney Winston.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect heavy set buck that has nobody else makes anything that's like, he's not morbidly obese, but he's obese. There isn't a decent obese buck out there for like heavier set people and heavier set customs. I mean, Bobby would look weird on a Marauder, just straight Marauder buck. So would Piney. So JD put me onto this. So that was kind of my surprise unboxing. Is they were on sale, I think, on Big Bad Toy Store. I've been buying them for 20 something bucks loose, and they were $16 carded at Big Bad Toy Store.
So that Nedry looks enough like him. All it needs is a voice chip that says, you didn't say the magic word.
Yeah.
Or Dodson, we've got Dodson here. See, nobody cares. I Well, that's cool that they put him, because he was part of a set before, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
I know there was a Comic-Con exclusive set. That's
yes,
not
that
the
was
one I'm
it.
talking about.
Yeah, it
Because
came
the
with
Comic-Con
the
exclusive
full
set
1-to-1
had
scale.
him in the Hawaiian shirt. That's not, but I think the one with the rain slicker, I think he was available as part of a set before.
He might have
But
been. I don't know. I haven't been following the line too closely. I've gotten a couple of the big dinosaurs. I'm kind of on the fence about getting the Jurassic Park, the Range Rover or whatever that thing is, the Explorer or whatever.
oh yeah, from Lost World.
No, from the Jurassic Park, from the original movie.
The tour vehicle. Oh, okay. Well, because there's a set from the Lost World Jurassic Park with Ian Malcolm, and it's got the Mercedes SUV that they created for that movie, and it's got a storage thing on the back that comes off, and it's got the window armor, and it's kind of cool. Not for $53 at Target, but it's cool.
Yeah. So, and then I thought, what am I going to do with it? Probably nothing, because I'm not going to customize it, because I never finish vehicle customs. So I'm probably not going to get it. But yeah, so as for customizers, if you need a heavier set buck, Dennis Nedry is totally the way to go, and Big Bad Toy Store has them in stock for a reasonable price. So I've got one custom done. I'm taking apart another one right now, and I bought 2 of them to finish off the last 2 customs that I need for my Sons of Anarchy sets. So that brings us to the big box of the day, which is the Trubble Bubble and the Cobra Tele-Viper. So I had to get it because specialty Viper, obviously the Tele-Viper was everybody's, well, not everybody's, but it was my first specialty Viper because it was the first one that was released in the RL American Hero line. So again, we've got the smaller art on the side, the equipment that comes with it, and then a nice action picture of the figure itself. Bigger picture of the same art on the side, QR code on the other side, bottom's blank, top has the G.I. Joe logo, back has the picture of the figure with all the gear and the Trubble Bubble and all the gear it comes with. And it's showing a close-up of his wrist communicator, the engines on the back of the Trubble Bubble, and the Cobra logo, Cobra sigil on his arm for some reason. It comes with, of course, the Trubble Bubble, the 2 missiles, the air mine, his backpack, and his like communication rifle thing, an interchangeable 3 interchangeable heads. So you've got the you've got a white African American and then a fully masked head, which is new. I mean, the obviously because the no version of the Tele-Viper ever was fully masked. And that fully masked head looks awesome. So opening it up. And this is figure number 79, apparently. Snow Job, if you're curious, was 68, 67, for anybody keeping track of that stuff. All right. So there it is in the packaging. I'm going to try and cut it out with an X-Acto knife without taking a chunk out of my thumb, like I did with scrap iron. I ended up cutting the shit out of my thumb, taking scrap iron out of the packaging. Ooh. Right.
Foot articulation issue. Got to heat it up before you move it.
Yeah. Right there at the above the ankles. That's going to have to get heated up or it's going to rip the peg off. The rest of it seems all right as far as stiffness and articulation. But yeah, there's those ankles are going to have to get heated up. I need to get some figure stands for these guys. I don't have any 6-inch figure stands.
I just figure if you get injured, as long as you show the injury off on camera, then it's a victory.
Right.
Because definitely a case of it. At least let us see the blood and gore happens.
Well, I did show you the picture. I sent you a picture when I cut the shit out of my thumb.
Oh yeah, no, I mean if it was to happen live on camera,
Yeah,
definitely got to glorify that.
Trubble Bubble is pretty cool. I mean, it's really reminiscent of the version 1.
It is nice to see seat restraints, which the original did not have.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because I was thinking about that looking at the packaging is that it does have seat belts. They look like they're on there pretty good. So, you know, that was definitely one of the things with the the old Real American Hero vehicles that did have seatbelts is most of them weren't attached well to the vehicle, so they were easily lost. That is not going to happen with that. I'm trying to think. I don't think I had a Trouble Bubble as a kid, or did I?
I didn't have one when I was a kid. I had the 1997 version, but I never had the original when I was a kid. They were all over the Sunbow cartoon, but yeah, I never had one. And of the different places we lived at, I don't remember friends of mine having a Trouble Bubble either. It was sort of one of those where I simply knew it from the cartoon.
I want to say I had one, but now I can't remember for sure. I've had I know I've had one at one point. I don't remember if it was when I as an adult collector or because I don't have the only one I have right now is the 25th anniversary one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the 25th anniversary one was the first time I owned a Trouble Bubble in the original color scheme because I want to say I think the one from the 1997 Toys R Us line. I want to say I think it was a darker color, maybe it was darker gray. But it had the same quality problems that most of those vehicles had. It wasn't the best construction, but no, maybe it was. Maybe it did look like the original Trouble Bubble. I can't remember, but I remember the 25th version being more rugged and having a little more durability. Um,
Here's what I'm talking about. This is how Snow Job's rifle came packaged. It came
okay.
in a cardboard thing to help prevent it from bending. So we got a hose. Got to figure out where that hose goes. I think this is a good idea. I'm glad to see that they're doing something like the chin gun. Yeah, it's the chin gun for it.
The sculpt of that chin gun, at least in the pictures, is definitely more elaborate than the fairly plain design on the original.
Yeah, the chin gun's nice. I thought it was just like a landing point on the nose, but then I remembered it did have a chin gun, and yeah.
Oh yeah,
So it's a ball joint for the gun, so that's nice.
that's cool though. So it because on the original, I want to say I think it swiveled, but
It is.
I don't think it elevated. Um, I don't even know if the 25th version did. I don't remember.
Don't remember. I don't have one sitting here. The mine is pretty cool. The only thing, and it does have a removable panel like the vintage one did. But it looks like it's really hard to get in there. So let's get the X-Acto knife out again, shall we?
Yes.
Don't do this at home, boys and girls. Remember, I am a trained professional. So yeah, it does. It has the mine that with the panel that opens. The one thing that I've noticed from pictures already that seems to be kind of lacking on this is the original mine had a hole in it to peg into the seat. So if you were gonna fly, if you used your treble bubble like an aerial mine, the seat just went on the mine went on the backpack peg in the seat. This does not have that. As near as I can tell, it doesn't peg in anywhere to the vehicle.
Uh, I want to say I think it pegs into the bottom somewhere.
I saw somebody do a workaround, but I don't think that was. I think that
Okay,
was
because I've seen a few grumblings about how it seems like this mine is underscaled where the original was overscaled,
yeah, it's
and
definitely a lot smaller than scale.
somebody did a custom version where they retrofit the original
Oh, that's a good idea.
um to make it more in scale, and then so they swapped the smaller one to the vintage, and yeah, they had to customize it. They had to, but that was a really good idea.
That is, yeah, that's brilliant. So we got two add-on pylons for the missiles, and then the regular missiles just plug in. Hang on a sec. Somebody's texting me asking me if I'm okay.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
I
We're going
mean,
to reply to that and say, no, I just got arrested. I
wait,
love
as long as it's not your wife that's texting you that,
it's
because
not.
that
She's upstairs.
I was going to say that might not be the right response to text your wife with. I like that Brian has a Dick Tracy.
There we
What's
go.
that? Oh,
Says, are you okay? And I said, no, I just got arrested. I love fucking with wrong numbers.
um, I was gonna say, I wonder what happened to the person they're actually trying to contact.
I don't know.
Um,
Somebody's gonna have some splaining to do later.
yeah.
So as an aside to that, somebody wrong number called me one time. I was on duty working and they I answered it and I said hello and they said, hey, is Bobby there? Or whatever. And I said no. And they said, well, where are they? I said, well, he just got arrested. And the person said, again? I'm like, oh, game on. And my partner heard that and he just lost it. I mean, just started laughing. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm not. They're like, well, how do you have the phone? I'm like, well, he gave it to me when the cops got him. And they're like, well, what happened? And I'm like, well, we got pulled over by the cops and he took a swing at one of them. So she's like, oh my God. And just started swearing. She's like, oh, I'm going to kill him. I'm like, oh, you can't tell him I said anything. I wasn't supposed to tell you. She's like, oh, don't you worry. So I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall the next time she ran into whoever that was she was looking for, because that guy was probably like, what in the fuck are you talking about?
I I feel like the subject of your shirt, Loki, that is very appropriate now. Um,
So
that's
the I just noticed that the control swivels. That
oh sweet. Okay.
that's something the originals never did, as far as I
I
know.
was gonna say I don't remember that being a thing.
I don't either. And then the engines. Oops. And I'm wondering if the yeah, no, the mine does not. That kind of surprises me that the mine doesn't plug in anywhere, quite honestly. That it doesn't peg in. Because yeah, the workaround I saw on Facebook, I think the guy used rare earth magnets too.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe that's what it was. Um, I I have a tendency when I'm scrolling to see pictures, but not always stop to read. So,
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of those people on my Facebook page
well,
asking.
yeah, you definitely do, and I get a kick out of trolling about that. Um,
So yeah, the engine's just plug into the back. It's got the dual vanes on the back. It seems like it's on there pretty good. I don't think it's gonna. I was worried
Good
about.
because the engines on the 1997 version did not stay very well.
You
I want to say I think they stayed better on the 25th version, but that wasn't saying much because anything was an improvement.
but yeah, I don't. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't. There's nothing to peg the mine into. So that's a fail right there. Not a fail, but an oversight for sure. Is that there should have been somewhere or some way to peg the mine into the vehicle. Otherwise, it's I don't know. It's just kind of pointless because even with the original, it pegged in, and I don't know where the tubing goes. Oh, that's for the Tele-Viper. Duh.
Oh, the tube go. Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, it probably connects his
Yeah.
equipment to his.
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
it's corrugated, so it looks like it's like tubing, like vehicle tubing.
Oh, they detailed the actual accessory for the figure. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's not just a plain old rubber hose like they used in the vintage line. It's
Oh,
actually got the
yeah,
decal.
it looks like vehicle tubing because it's ribbed like the vehicle tubing is. I'm like,
That is seriously cool.
it is. And I really dig. Here, I'll see if I can. I really dig that masked helmet.
That is cool.
Yeah, that is the new helmet for this figure.
I like that it's got extra detail sculpted onto the back of the helmet because the original Tele-Viper had the strip of electronics around but the plate the front of the helmet and then the back of the helmet were very plain.
The
Um
backpack pegs super well into my figure.
okay, that's good too because some of the backpacks in the classified line are less than impressive with the way they attach firmly um or reliably.
Yeah, man, I dig this figure. This is this was worth it just for the Tele-Viper, man.
In the pictures, I will say it is nice. Um, that layered vest is much cooler than because the original vest, the sculpt had the quilted pattern, and that was kind of cool. But it still just looked like a vest that had a string to hold it together. That that sort of layered armor looking is badass looking.
All right, I got to heat up the ankles real quick, so it's gonna get loud for a few seconds here.
It's not loud. I can't hear it. I don't know, but I noticed that Snow Job is pointing his sniper rifle towards Brian. So Brian might not see it coming when he pulls the trigger.
Ooh.
Dude, I didn't even hear any noise from the heat gun. So,
Yeah, I don't know that those are actually supposed to be articulated or not. Huh. All right.
well, I'd be able to clarify that if you had a classified Recondo, but you skip that figure and it uses the same legs.
Yeah, because
Um,
it was the I'm waiting for the original color scheme. I didn't want the Tiger Force one.
um,
I'll
yeah.
get the Recondo. Recondo was
And Falcon used the same ones, but you skipped Falcon too. So
yep. I didn't like anything about that Falcon figure. This
I
this is a seriously cool figure. I dig this. This is an awesome update for specialty Vipers. I love
um
the head sculpt. This is by far the best looking Tele-Viper that has ever been made. I like the original color scheme, but yeah, the new head sculpt is fantastic.
I like that he doesn't have rolled up sleeves and bare arms.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I like the
because that
Under Armour shirt under.
yeah, that always struck me as being very impractical for Cobra Troopers to have rolled up sleeves and exposed arms. I mean the Vipers have the arm pads, but they don't. So they got something going on. The Tele-Vipers just look really plain, and it's a little silly. But yeah, the Under Armour shirt is a nice. Yeah, that was a nice touch.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
he's got that control panel or something on his arm, right? That's cool
I
looking.
think it's the same one that's on Torpedo, if I'm not mistaken, or the
Oh, is it? Okay.
no, it's not the same one that's on Torpedo. It might be the same one that's on the Eel. Yeah. 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 I think it's the same one that's on the Eel.
Well, that's cool too because
Yeah, same one
with the
on it.
different colors, it disguised that pretty well.
No,
And
it's
and
really hard to tell.
yeah, I like what they did with the thing on the eel. So like because the original eel just had the bracers or the
Right.
gauntlets, but that yeah, having a functional control panel on it is a nifty idea.
Yeah, it was a nice touch for sure.
I will get a Tele-Viper and Trouble Bubble at some point. I just can't do it right now, but I will get one at some point, and I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man, because Tele-Viper is definitely not my favorite specialty Viper, but yeah, it was my first specialty Viper, which started, the lifelong obsession with them, with
Well,
specialty Vipers. So I
I
have
don't know if the
almost
Tele-Viper
every.
is anybody's specific favorite, but it is one of the most universally useful ones.
Yes.
It's one of the only specialty Vipers that showed up as often in the comics as it did in the cartoons. Once the Televipers made their way into the toy line, they were all over the Marvel run, the Marvel comics, and the Sunbow cartoon. That is badass looking.
Yeah, actually, it is.
And I love that there are no decal sheets. They're just simply tampos
Yep.
that I do not have to fuck with.
I like putting stickers on, but at the same time, stickers wear off. They get old. But yeah, the tampos are kind of nice, I will admit. I wasn't a big fan of the tampos originally when they first started doing them instead of stickers because I loved putting the stickers on as a kid. But having restored probably close to a dozen GI Joe vehicles at this point in time and putting stickers on with needle nose tweezers to make it look decent because I didn't give a shit as a kid. My imagination made it look awesome no matter how sloppy I put.
Exactly.
But yeah, putting them on as an adult and trying to make it look decent now, I'll take tampos now. I would not. They've converted me. Let's put it that way. And
Yeah.
that is saying something. That is a big switch for me to for me to say that. Mine doesn't. There we go. I was gonna say the bubble doesn't peg into the body very well on mine on the right side, but that's fine. It doesn't need to. I'm gonna say that the pylons probably need to be glued in, or they're gonna fall off pretty easily. But yeah, no, this is pretty fantastic. It's a good solid chunk of plastic too. It's hard enough that it doesn't feel flimsy or cheap, but it's soft enough that it's not going to break in 30 years from now. And yeah, I definitely dig the new head sculpt for the Tele-Viper. So playability is fantastic. I mean, 3 interchangeable heads. God damn fly. 3 interchangeable heads. And of course the Tele-Viper, or Trubble Bubble. So uh whatever Cobra figure you want to use in the Trubble Bubble. And then let's see if he can do the card art pose. Yeah, pretty much.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty much the card art pose there. Maybe up a bit more, but yeah, I dig this. I dig the specialty Vipers. I mean, yeah, this is a fantastic update, and I like that the purple is not like neon like it was on the original figure. It's definitely more of a muted purple, so it's not like obnoxious, but it still works, and it's still very reminiscent of the V1 figure. And yeah, that new head sculpt is awesome. I dig it. and I got to get some figure stands.
I'm rather fond of the figure stands that they have at Small Joe's. Um,
That's where
they're
I bought all the ones I have for my 4-inch figures.
um, yeah, because they're I don't know. See it on the wow, yeah, it's really clear, but yeah, they're they're hexagonal and uh they fit well anything with the standard foothold. So uh the Marvel stuff, the Joe stuff, Star Wars Black Series, uh the Fortnite the Fortnite Victory Series 6-inch figures don't fit on it. I mean they do, but not as well. But they fit. I mean you can make them work, but they're not ideal for it. But yeah, they work beautifully for the Joes and the Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I dig this. Not too keen on the. I can't tell if that's supposed to be articulated at the tops of the boots, but if it is, mine is really stuck because it didn't loosen up when I heated it up. I may have to pull it off of there because I'm sure it's just pegged in there, but I don't want to ruin it either. But yeah, I really like the new offerings from the classified line, and it's slowly being converted to that, and I cannot wait to see the Range Viper when it comes out. Uh, yeah, because flump.
Yeah, the Small Joe stands work beautifully for the Marvel Legend stuff.
Nice.
So, and this may or may not be a subtle reminder of Brian to mail my poster,
Oh yeah.
um, and my Fun School sticker.
Oh yeah, because they're both sitting right there. That white tube.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's your poster and your decals.
They'd be much cooler if they were in transit across the country.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'm off the front half of this week, so I'll get it in the mail Monday. Completely.
I I
You know,
I
I'm sending the Halo drop pod to one of the buddies from the board. So I need to get that in the mail to him too.
um oh, was that the drop pod from that set that turned out to suck?
Yeah.
Um
I eventually did get that. I did some modifications to that figure and eventually did get it to go together okay. But the fact that I actually had to work at it so hard to get it to go anywhere, and the fact that it's underscaled, just still annoy the fuck out of me.
um I will say this about the figure stands. I got one of those articulated icon figures from the Swoosh store.
Okay.
Uh it was on sale for like $3.99 plus shipping. $3.99.
Man,
And uh they don't stay perfectly well, but the stands actually do accommodate the slightly larger foot pegs on the articulated hero.
you
So
know, you know, Craniac has a Daniel LaRusso head that would go nice on that body because he does stuff in 1/12 scale too.
yeah. Um the only way that's gonna happen is if Daniel LaRusso is wearing blue, because I'm not painting that.
Send it to
Fuck,
me. Send it to me and I'll
fuck
do it.
painting white.
Send
Fuck
it to me and I'll
painting
do it.
white.
Send
Um,
it to me and I'll do it.
um, no, he's fine just the way he is. He's uh he's uh he's one of the Arashikage's support guys. Um, he's restricted to the dojo.
All right.
Stupid guy.
All right.
Um, now for my unboxing, we're
Yes.
gonna go off
Yes.
in a
Okay.
whole other direction.
So JD was jealous of my Tele-Viper, and I am jealous of what JD's got.
So Boss Fight Studios, I don't buy a ton of their stuff, but there are certain things that they make that nobody else makes. One of those things is Zorro figures.
Yes.
Since I was a kid, back in the very early 90s, there was a live action Zorro television show, and it was it always fascinated me. And so I've always had a thing for Zorro. And Zorro, the gay blade, is such a random source for action figures, but not when it's paired up with the fact that Boss Fight has made other Zorro figures. Like they've got the 2-pack of Don Diego de la Vega and Elena from The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah.
Um, and they had the Zorro single carded and Zorro that came with his uh, mighty steed Tornado.
Which I bought
But
when I bought the single card and I bought the one with Tornado.
I do too. I did not open the one with Tornado because he's on display with my Frankie, the unicorn from the Mighty Steeds line that's autographed by all the people from
Oh
Boss
yeah.
Fight. So they're on display together. At some point, I'll open it, but I was going to try to build a dio because one of the things Boss Fight did was they had these stones to, and then I realized, wait, no, I can't build dioramas, and that's what stopped me on that. But
Before you open that, may I share why I am super jealous?
sure,
Okay, so when I was a kid, we lived out in the country, so we didn't get a lot of we didn't get much TV. TV was pretty shitty. So my folks sprang for cable and we had HBO. Anybody that's our age that had HBO remembers that movies when they went to HBO got showed like like 2 or 3 times a day, especially during the summer. So you could there'd be a movie on and it would be on for like that month and it would be on 60 times that month at least. Zorro the
we
Gay
can't.
Blade. Zorro the Gay Blade was on HBO one summer when I was a kid, and I have seen that movie more times than I can count. That was my introduction to Zorro, and I fucking love that movie.
We can't talk about HBO movies being rerun over and over without mentioning that iconic and unforgettable opening montage for the HBO feature presentation with da 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 da. I think that little 30-second clip, I think that should be edited into this video. I'm just saying
If I
because
can
it's on
find
YouTube.
if you
I found it on YouTube. But Zorro the Gay Blade, I've only seen it once, and it was years ago. In 1999, when I worked at Blockbuster in Annandale, Virginia, they had on the shelf, they had a bunch of VHS tapes, often came in different, they had all kinds of, they didn't have a standard size of box for VHS tapes. Rental boxes tended to be oversized. Disney always had the plastic clamshells,
yeah, I remember that.
but videotapes, you only got the cardboard sleeve if you
Right.
went to the store to buy one. But if you were renting them, you remember that they had oversized boxes with styrofoam that would fill out the rest of the box. Well, this package is designed to look just like the oversized videotape box. Down here, where they would normally have the cast and crew of the movie, they have all the legal, the copyright jargon, and they have the Boss Fight Studio employee list. And around the side where they used to have the Fox logo, they've got the Boss Fight Studios logo. That is exactly
Holy
how on
shit.
the side of that videotape that we had at Blockbuster, it looked. And on the back, they basically on the back of that videotape box, they had the screenshots from the movies, and there was one of Gold Zorro and the Black Clad Zorro, and it was like this. And I only saw the movie that one time when I worked the block because we got free rentals. And I at one point I think I saw half of everything that was in that store. But
Oh, bet.
so even this package brings back nostalgia for a time when it may have just been a video store. But that is one of the best jobs, one of the most enjoyable jobs I ever had. And this gets me all kinds of gushy and nostalgic for it.
I hear you,
So
man. I mean, yeah, I can't tell
good
you
on you, Boss Fight Studios.
how many awesome
This
memories I have from that summer watching that movie.
now you can't find the movie Zorro the Gay Blade for streaming right now because it is one of those
I
many,
had it.
many. Huh?
I found it recently because I just watched it.
Oh, where'd you find it at?
Don't remember.
Because well, then it must be recent because for a while it was hard to find streaming because it was
Fuck it.
um
Getting it.
one of
Fuck
those
it.
many movies that what's that?
I'm getting it.
You need it. Um it was one of those many movies that there were rights issues with the studios because as the acquisitions happened, because Disney bought Fox. Well, Fox originally, but I don't know. A lot of these movies you can't find Smokey and the Bandit to stream online because
You
there's
can't find Cannonball Run
ownership
either.
issues.
Because I was looking for Cannonball Run recently. You can't find that one either.
Yeah, you can't find that one either. Cannonball Run 2 you can stream, but
Yes.
Cannonball Run you can't stream.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, not Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah, you can't stream it. Because there's legal issues with ownership. Well,
Gotcha.
Zorro the Gay Blade, at least a few months ago, was like that.
Hmm.
So they've clearly fixed something. But you can
They
find it
either
on
they
YouTube.
fixed it or it came up for a problem again because I did or did I might have pirated that.
Well, because you can find it on YouTube. It was uploaded to YouTube, but
Don't
so
don't remember where I got that. I don't know.
so this black plastic clamshell, Zorro fell out. I didn't take him out. He fell out. This black plastic clamshell, um, it's almost big enough you could fit a VHS tape in here if you needed to.
It
But
kind of looks like a VHS tape almost.
I I love that they did this. I wasn't sure when I opened this box if it was just going to be figures that were bagged like these, like the accessories, but I love this clamshell.
Yeah, no, it looks like a VHS tape almost.
You're right, it does. From the back, yeah, it's
From the side too.
yeah, they
Because that's like almost the exact same shape as a yeah, there we go. My email letting me know I just dropped $60 on Big Bad Toy Store.
whoops. Well, hey, you got to. Boss
Yeah,
Fight Studios, you guys have a fucking winner on your hands with this set.
absolutely.
This is awesome. So, oh shit. Oh well, the fur off of Bunny de la Vega's hat is removable.
Oh wow.
Or well, no, it's not fur; it's feathers. But it's yeah, it's removable. And it's got a so that you don't forget where it goes. If you got to glue it on, it's got a extra piece sculpted there
Ah,
and underneath. So I don't know if it's actually supposed to be removable, but I'm probably gonna end up gluing it just so I don't lose it.
right.
But uh, classic Zorro hat. Um, Oddly enough, look, the swords aren't moving at all, so you don't have to worry about them falling out of this clamshell. Now, once they're out, you only have to worry about it falling out of the figure's hands and falling into that abyss of time and space where all lost accessories wind up.
All I can think about is the time I opened my Reveltech Deadpool and the I had the hand for the right hand that holds the gun. So like the most important hand in the set
oh,
went flying because I opened it upstairs in the kitchen. I have never found that hand. Never. We've torn that kitchen apart.
so in
We've
other words,
rearranged the kitchen. We've pulled that dishwasher out because it was leaking. It's a new refrigerator in there. We've moved things in, and like there's an island and a pantry that are like IKEA island and pantry that are in there that weren't in there when we moved in. We had them outside of the kitchen. So those
So
have moved a couple of times. Never found that fucking hand. So unless one
so
of the
that
dogs
hand,
ate it,
so that hand effectively might as well have not existed at all. Um, so
yeah, my Deadpool can't hold his gun. I've got him sitting on the couch that came with the SH Fig Arts Iron Man. So he's sitting on the couch offering Iron Man a taco.
that's funny. All right. So, oh, the swords are identical sculpts, but um,
Different
you've
colors.
got you got the gold painted on Bunny's sword. You got the soft goods cape that actually matches the trim on his on this cape here. Um, the the head sculpt is
Oh yeah, that is nice.
absolutely gorgeous.
Spot
Um,
on.
and the head sculpt again is absolutely gorgeous. Um, I don't the this is not a figure set that I would have ever anticipated
No, nor I. I would
becoming
not.
a reality. But the fact that I now have this figure set makes me very, very happy. And again, boss fight, good job.
Yeah, I
You
I
guys,
had I was on the fence about this just because how expensive it was, and I had pre-ordered the Zorro with Tornado and the single card Tornado and the Alejandro. The Alejandro Zorro, and I was on the fence about getting the gal too, but I was like, I'm already like $100 in the hole on this, so I skipped the Gay Blade set, and I like I said, I grew up, spent one summer watching the shit out of that movie because it's a funny movie too. I mean, it's not a
oh, it
it's
is.
it's a
It's
tongue
a
in cheek movie.
it's
It's
a
almost
comedic
Mel
take on
Brooks.
Zorro,
Yeah,
but it's
it's a
it's
funny
also
action adventure movie. I mean, it's
yeah.
hilarious. So the
Well,
premise is that the guy that plays Zorro, I think it's supposed to be like the original Zorro's son. He ends up breaking his ankle as Zorro, and then the bad Spaniard comes around, and they've got to try and drive him off. And then his gay brother, who's like in the military, comes by, and he's like, "You've got to help me, save the town and get rid of the bad guy." So he agrees, and then he's in all of these flamboyant Zorro costumes. I mean, it's just like it's a different color each time you see him. I think one's like hot pink, and it's
the
hilarious. And so then you've got the back and forth of the hiding the identity thing where you see that in comedic movies, and it's just classic movie. It's just fun to watch.
the the gold outfit is his most iconic look. Um, which yeah, I mean it's uh it's clever and it basically introduces a brother that we never knew was there. But this is oh shit, the hands. Um, I'm sitting near the floor, so I can't actually lose anything. But
Well, don't say that, man. You
um
can't say that. You're gonna jinx yourself. God damn this fly, man.
um, it's got a whip in gold and a whip in black rolled up, and it's got the whips. Uh, so they're usable. I it's I feel like
Nice.
I feel like there's BDSM clubs that that don't that might be that some of they might be jealous. They're they're really Oh, and one of his hands is sculpted to have a. Oh shit!
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, it's meant to pop apart so you can take the belt and stuff off. But um, yeah, the hand has a handkerchief
Oh, nice.
sculpted into it. Um, so the one elbow, I'm gonna have to heat it up because I don't want to force it. I don't think I'll break it, but just to be safe.
Yeah, 100%.
But they really, man, they knocked it out of the park with this. They shit, they just absolutely, if you're a Zorro fan, or specifically if you're a fan of this movie, I think you owe it to yourself to buy this set.
I
But
just did. I just did
um
because yeah, I am a fan of Zorro and a fan of that movie. So and as I do like boss fight stuff, I backed the original Kickstarter. I've got I've used their stuff in customs quite a bit. I love the skeletons. I love the blank figures. I used a blank figure for the naked T100 or T100 from Terminator 1 and
800.
oh yeah,
800.
Terminator T800 from Terminator 1. Um and I use the skeletons all the time for customs. Uh I love their stuff. The line that did disappoint me was the Umbrella Academy. Um the figures look nice, but the head sculpts do not resemble the actors at all. And in this day and age of digital sculpting and 3D printing, I mean, with the guys like Spartan and Craniac around that and uh Action Figure Labs that's on Etsy. I mean, these guys make photorealistic heads. So not being able to replicate the actor's likeness for these figures is, I hate to say it, but it's an unforgivable sin. So I skipped that line. If the likenesses had been better, I would have picked them up
I
without
never watched the Umbrella Academy show. Um, I started I started it, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. Um, and once I did start to watch it, I got most of the way through the first episode, and I'm like, it wasn't. There was something about it that was missing the mark, and I wasn't invested enough to just say, well, let me give it another couple of episodes. Once I got close to the end, I'm just like, I don't think I like any of these characters. Not the unlikable, they're all horrible people. I
right.
just
That's
none of
why I
them
stopped
grabbed me.
watching Why the Last Man is just all the characters were hate filled. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't. It
Emily and I
wasn't.
both Emily and I both really enjoy the Umbrella Academy, and I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I
But
should probably go back and watch it again or give it another chance. But at the time I was trying to watch it, it could have just been my mood. That does happen sometimes. But
so
um,
I was all on board when they announced figures, but when I saw the likenesses of the figures, I was like super disappointed. I ended up buying the Vanya figure for I bought it for her violin because I wanted the violin for a Sherlock custom, and I ended up using the suited buck as a uh civilian disguise female Crimson Guard figure, which turned out fairly nice. So I put the stuff to use, but I was just disappointed in the likenesses of the figures on those. Man, those look amazing.
yeah. Um, if yeah, if anybody watching this is on the fence about these, don't be. Get off the fence and buy them. And if it's something that you just can't afford it right now, uh, keep it in the back of your mind because these are really good. I didn't buy the Mask of Zorro set, but now I think I need to go back and buy those because now it just seems like an absurd uh
Mission.
yeah. It just like Now, for something I wasn't actually collecting, now it just seems like a weird hole for no reason. So I'm gonna have to go back and buy that set. Um, because I just all I'm missing really now is a couple of Mexican soldiers for Zorro to um uh constantly outwit, outplay, and humiliate. Really. That's all. That's so I
I
don't
That's not a bad idea for like a army builder for them.
yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's something that necessarily boss fight needs to do, but I mean it'd be great if they did, but if they didn't, I feel like somebody out there should be making those. Um but yeah, these are really great. So boss fight, you absolute this is perfection. This set is perfection. You guys really just it's this is a complete win. They really, man, they did everything right here. I'm glad you ordered the set. I'm glad I ordered the set. It's definitely a case of they were ordered a long time ago, but fuck it, well worth the wait.
Yeah,
Um,
I think they've been. I think they announced those probably close to 2.5 years ago.
and they did, and I'm sure that a lot of it had to do with COVID stuff
Yeah,
and
it may have actually
manufacturing
been longer than
problems.
that now
But
that I think about it. But yeah, because
but
I fired and forgot on the Zorro stuff, and then I've had the original Zorro and the Tornado for quite a while now. It's been over a year, and then I did get a pre-order notice for the Alejandro. I don't think I ordered the Elena, but I did order the Alejandro, and I saw that it was going to be coming out soon. So I know that figure is going to be coming out soon. And then yeah, every time I've looked at the Zero the Gay Blade set, it's like I didn't have the money at the time, but I do right now. So fuck it. Yeah,
yeah, it's
I figured I was going to get it at some point.
I really, I mean, I could read the list of people here at Boss Fight that are responsible for this, but um, they just I'm friends with some of them on Facebook, and they're all real great. They're all personable people, but I love the varied range of properties that they're making toys based of. I mean, there's a lot of some of these things like the little print. I don't even know what the hell the little prince is, but
They've got Popeye out right now. These aren't they're not all 1/18 scale either. The
no,
Popeye stuff isn't 1/18 scale. They've just announced the yesterday I saw the announcement for the second wave of the strawberry shortcake figures, and those are, I think, really I think they're really close to the original scale of the original figures as near as I
yeah,
can
they're
tell.
they're not in scale with any traditional action figure lines, but
But I think they're in
they
scale
are
with the original figures. I'm not 100% on that. Don't quote me on that, but they look like they're in scale with the original figures,
yeah,
except they're super articulated, which is kind of
yeah,
cool.
they're very well done. Um,
Fungo.
I've got a couple of their lucha libre wrestlers, which are 6-inch scale. Um, I've got I've got a couple of them, but that's because I could not buy all of them, but they're really good. Um,
And then
they
the other one of the other big properties they have right now is the Flash Gordon, which is another one of those HBO movies that was on all summer. Um, and the Phantom, and then of course their regular, Vitruvian Hex figures.
which they're still adding to.
Yeah,
And then they've got that Court of the Dead thing. I don't know what it is, but I've gotten the emails about it, and it's cool looking. It isn't
I've
anything I
got
need to buy, but it is
I
cool
bought them.
looking.
I have them. They're cool figures.
Um,
And Boss Fight has the Alejandro uh Zorro in stock right now. I don't know where mine is because I pre-ordered it from Boss Fight, but they have the Alejandro in 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 stock right now. So yeah, I'm wondering where the fuck mine is then.
You sure you didn't get a pre-order notice and or that it arrived in it and you overlooked it, or it's in your junk mail or something?
No. And yeah, they have the Elena too. The Elena's in stock.
All right, sweet. Yeah, I need to order them. Not right at the moment, but yeah, I need to order those. I probably should have ordered them then, but that was stupid. So, um,
Bucket Air is another one of the properties that they have that's not necessarily in scale with anything, but
they're in scale with each other, which they need to be. But they don't tie into any other properties, so I think it makes sense. But and then they got something called Salmon Max. I don't know what it is. But they're cute. It's a
it's
rabbit
a
and a
it's
dog or
a
something. I don't
comic
know. They're
book.
cute.
It's on a comic book.
Um, uh, um,
I was gonna read. I saw the previews for the comic book when it first came out. I was gonna get it and never did. Follow up. Hang on a second. Pause it for a minute. So yeah, definitely some cool offerings. So yeah, I'm hoping my pre-orders from Boss Fight come through here pretty soon because since they're Big Bad Toy Store is usually one of the last places to get stuff, and they have them in stock now.
um, oh, you ordered them from Big Bad. See.
No, I ordered them from Boss Fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I ordered these from Boss Fight. So,
Yeah,
I think they
I
showed up the other day, but
yeah, I pre-ordered the Alejandro from Boss Fight, so I'm wondering where
oh,
it
okay.
is. Big Bad Toy Store is usually the last place to get stuff, and they already have them in stock. I'm kind of wondering where mine is then,
Well,
because they usually fill pre-orders before they go to the retailers.
that's weird.
It is. Um, Boss Fight was able to get me some of the Planet Green Valley figures, which are 1/18 scale, kind of futuristic military female
They don't
figures.
make those anymore, do they?
Uh, sort of yes and no, but they're super expensive. The guys, I don't fully understand how this guy's making them because I don't know if he's got production, but they're very low batch. They're overseas, so China, Taiwan, somewhere like that, and they're like $70 a piece is what they usually go.
Jesus.
Yeah, I have a couple of them. I pre-ordered them from Big Bad Toy Store when they were semi reasonable, and they were able to get me all three of them. But yeah, they're just stupid expensive. So that is a line that I wish would go mainstream and get become affordable.
Um, yeah, they make some cool looking stuff. It isn't anything I need to buy, but it is some cool looking stuff. And it does look like it would have wider appeal. So kind of strange if they're limited, but maybe they're big over wherever they make them. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's really hard to follow the guy. I'm friends with the guy on Facebook, but I just since I can't get them for less than 60, $70 a pop, I'm like, I can't I can't justify that. I've got a couple of them. I'm happy with what I got. I've seen prototypes or at least renderings of like a female astronaut that he's done, and it looks phenomenal. So if that one ever goes into production, whatever the cost is on that, I'm gonna suck it up and get one of them because it looks amazing. But yeah, and then I saw something recently that he was running into troubles and wasn't going to be maybe making them for a while or something. I don't know. I just saw that they weren't going to be as available as they had been, and I'm like, what? I mean, they weren't available to begin with. So
I was gonna say it it sounds like a line that was barely that existed but barely existed. So how do you actually go down from that without just ceasing production altogether?
I don't know. But the quality was good. I mean, they're phenomenal figures. I was thinking about doing a like top 10 lists of figures that you probably didn't know existed that you should have in your collection. And that was the Planet Green Valley figures that I was were ones that I was going to put in there.
Um, the only pitfall with that comes with opening somebody's eyes to something that they didn't know existed before, and then they need it, and then oh, there's no way to get that for less than the
And
selling. Yeah, I was gonna say internal organs. So um,
yeah, they're definitely approaching that price. I know you can get them on AliExpress, but they are still that expensive on even on AliExpress.
damn. Okay.
So
When even they can't discount it, that's pretty that's pretty telling on availability.
yeah. Yeah. So I think that's about all we got for this particular show. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
get going because I got just enough time to get around. We're going to go see Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie tonight. So I am super excited to see that. Alice Cooper is Emily's favorite band. And one of the things that Alice is named after.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's half of it's Alice in Wonderland and half of it's Alice Cooper. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's cool.
when we got her, we were going to call her Alice Copper since she's kind of copper colored, but she had a lot of GI problems when we got her, so we ended up calling her Alice Pooper. So that went stuck instead of Alice Copper. So Alice 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 Pooper, the hardest working dog in show business. So yeah, we can go see Alice Cooper tonight. And I've been a fan of Rob Zombie for really since back when he was with White Zombie. I missed him when he was here with Ozfest way back in the day because I didn't have the money to go. So I'm super excited to see Rob Zombie tonight. So that's tonight. Probably this will go up tomorrow because I won't have time to do the thumbnail tonight. Um, and I'm at my mom's house, so tomorrow because it's Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday. So we always have dinner at mom's on Sunday. So I will upload it from mom's house, which
And
means
it'll be up 5 minutes later.
so I will do the thumbnail and editing tomorrow and upload it from mom's, and this will be live Sunday 17th.
Sweet.
So that's all I got for this. All we've got for this particular episode. I did get a shipping notice, and I think everybody else did as well for the Dr. Mindbender, classified Dr. Mindbender. So fucking finally on that.
I
So
didn't order it, so next episode you can unbox that.
yeah, I will probably save that for probably the novelty of that is definitely worn off. So I will definitely save that for an unboxing episode of General Geekery. Because
Um,
I really wanted it to take to the Denver Comic Con this year because Brian Cummings was there. So, but I'd rather have my own. I was happy, probably was happier to have my custom signed than having a Hasbro figure signed. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I think the appeal to have a custom signed is much cooler than just a box toy.
agreed. So as always, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Tell us your thoughts on the new offerings from Hasbro, the classified series that you've got. Had the Snow Job and the Tele-Viper and the Trubble Bubble. And comments on the boss fight stuff too. Until then, stay tuned. More episodes always to come. And as always, if you want to be on the show or have suggestions for the show, get in touch with JD or I. We are always up for ideas.
Yep.
And
Night,
until
everybody.
see you next time.